Hi there everyone. Welcome to the second border for the coffee cup block. This is block 3 for the community round robin. Now that Brenda's video's up, I can show you what I'm doing. She's having us do trees. So I hauled out a bunch of green and started cutting up strips because I have to cut them into different sizes and whatnot for making flying geese. I found various browns and another one of my hunks of white. You will notice as I go through this quilt, I'm using various whites, but I don't have loads and loads of one, so there's different white all throughout the quilt, just because I'm using what I have. So, we'll carry on sewing. I am going to do the stitch and flip method to make my flying geese for the top of the trees. So, I have a whole pile of green rectangles and a whole pile of white squares. I'm going to chain piece a bunch of these flying geese blocks. I have green rectangles, I have white squares with a line drawn on the back because that is what I prefer. I'm just going to line this up. It's better if you sew just a hair to the side of the line of where you're going to flip it to, and I want to flip it this way. So I'm going to sew just on the other side of that, not right directly on the line, just a hair off. So, go slowly. And I like to actually start hand cranking first, just so I know where the needle is going to go. Now that's a little bit too far over. So right about there. Oh, just a sec. There. Perfect. And sometimes the corner likes to go all funky, so you've got to lift up the foot and put it down a bit. Go slowly. Don't rush at the beginning. And then once you get underway, then off you go. Like so. Okay, procedure all again. I tend to do one side, and then I get a bunch done, and then I put the other side on. It's just faster that way. I've cut enough of these green rectangles so that I can get all the blocks done. I still have to get more of these bits for the stumps done, but starting along, that's what it's going to look like that. So you need 2 rectangles for the background and 1 rectangle for the stump, and the pattern gives you all the sizing and everything for that. I got a couple of them started just to see what they look like. I'll give you a close-up when I get more done. The cornerstones for the tree border will be with foundation paper piecing. This pattern is not super bright, but I'll show you what it looks like. And for the tree parts, I took 2 other greens out of my stash. They're sort of leaf color, froggy color. That's what I'm going to use. The trunks are all brown and everything else is white background. I'll just cut pieces big enough. On all 4 of my squares, I put a little bit of basting glue on the back of piece 1 on the pattern, and I glued a trunk piece with the right side facing up into that spot. Now Brenda has a good explanation on her video, so I will link it in the description box. Don't worry, it's easy enough to follow. I lined up a piece of the background white along the edge there, so I had a seam allowance going this way, and then I sewed along the line in between 1 and 2. There we go. I have this block almost finished. Brenda gives us an option for coping strips, which I guess most of us will probably have to use, depending on your seam allowance, obviously, just to make sure that you can get this block to be 20 and a half inches. Now mine is about 18 and a half inches square, so I'm going to cut some green, one of the ones I have a lot of, 2 inches wide, and I'll put that all the way around. Then I will trim it to 20 and a half inches. Now, unfortunately, that cornerstone tree, I made it a little bit too big, and I should have erred on the side of making the trunk closer in, but I didn't, so unfortunately that tree is going to lose its point when I sew the coping strips on. However, trees are not perfect in nature. It is what it is. And there we go, all done. I'm pretty happy with my points for the most part. I think it looks pretty good. I am carrying on with my other 2 blocks. I'll show you that momentarily here. This block with the coffee bean fabric is getting its tree border assembled slowly. I'm just working my way around. I have to do the other 2 cornerstone trees. I haven't assembled those yet. I have a pile more bits of stump and trunk ready to go, whatever you want to call it. I guess it's a trunk, not really a stump. And down there is my pink block, and it has its green flying geese ready to go. So once I get the trunks assembled that I've got sitting there, then they get put onto those flying geese and go on that block. Eventually I'll probably just put a couple pictures up on my community page when I have these blocks finished. Thanks for hanging in there, everybody. Onward we go.